Provoke, inform and change. We deal with issues that other networks won't.
Academia University. Open, free, that means no tuition, and no entrance restrictions. Well, hello everybody, welcome back to the next edition of INN's Tweetline Plus. Well, no, not Tweetline Plus, we had Tweetlines. We're doing Tweetlines today. And as per usual, we need to do the time and date stamp. It is 4 hours and 31 minutes into the day of Thursday, February 2nd, 2017. The cold is still with me. You'll have to sort of bear with me for that, and I apologize in advance for all the coughing and the hacking. It is in many ways, a lung capacity issue. So when you talk, it's breathing intensive, and it causes the chest to go into a spasm as it tries to deal with the air capacity. So that's that. I'm at my second research desk. I have I have three research desks. The one I do the more in-depth analysis that is in the back room there. It's in another room behind me. And this is with the screen behind me, where we can deal with the issues of the day, or particularly the issue of the headline, the tweet line. And one of the things that's sort of out of the sort of spotlight when you're watching all this rancor going on, all this, well, not really rancor, is nothing short of a communist revolution in the streets of the United States. And you have people like Tyrell Ventura and his cohorts extolling the virtues of protest, where people are being beaten up and attacked for simply supporting Donald Trump. And they think, oh, how divided the nation is. Oh, really? Well, who's doing all the violence? Who's attacking whom? And so how do you exactly see that this nation is divided? When you see that the violence, that the anger is coming from the left, is coming from the George Soros crowd. And it is not that, and it doesn't matter if you have a mild support for Donald Trump, you'll still be attacked. They're attacking women, they're attacking men, they're attacking, and there are gangs of people being, and the protesters on the left don't seem to care or mind that this is going on. This is not peaceful protesting. This is mob violence. This is mass intimidation. This is the Soros effect. This is an overthrow. This is exactly what happened in Euromaidan. You know what happened in Ukraine when they overthrew the elected government. This is exactly what they give out the excuses and oh, he's a bad president. He has to get going. He's the enemy of the people. What you hear about Trump now? And what are you hearing from the leader of the EU, along with George Soros? Right? Trump, with the United States now, where it is, becomes an existential threat to the EU, just as China and Russia. In other words, what's going on now, globally speaking, is the alt-left, the leftists who support the EU, the UN, and a number of these groups that are beating people up in the United States. They're laying the groundwork for the assassination and overthrow of Donald Trump. This is nothing short of regime change. Now, other people are being more polite about this, and oh wow, this shows our nation is divided, and that people on both sides of the blame. Wait a minute. Here's the problem I have with that, with the equivalence. When we go back to see Obama elected, did we see the death threats? Did we see the neo-Nazis in the street beating people up? No. But you're seeing this with Obama's people. You're seeing with the left, what they're doing. And the thing is that this is from the left. This is, you can see this with Trotsky. You can see this actually in almost any socialist revolution. Go back into the history and you'll see this. And you'll see the violence that's there. There's no difference between one and the other. And by the say, but the news will sort of be soft pedaling that we have to be fair, we have to be objective. Okay, let's be fair and objective. Who's doing all the violence? Who's beating people up? It's these groups that are out there. These protests are not protests. They're not peaceful protests. They're attacks. The United States right now is under attack by the social left, by the EU, by George Soros, because they're not getting what they want. And the thing is, they say, well, it's this whole thing, the travel, and this is over the travel ban. And it's not necessarily a travel ban. You hear this from the EU, one of the EU ministers, saying how, oh, maybe for a short-term security, the travel ban would be advised, but as a long-term solution, it is ill-advised, and this it flies in the face of humanity. Well, didn't Donald Trump say the ban was just for 90 days? And now they say, well, they say, oh, it's not really a Muslim ban, it's a travel ban, but it's excluding mostly Muslims. Well, no, it's not. Because if that were the case, it was targeting specifically Muslims. What you would be having is you would have people from Pakistan, from Saudi Arabia, from a lot of other predominantly Muslim countries being stopped. This includes Indonesia, Thailand now is mostly Muslim, and this is where you'll be seeing not just the 7 countries, which was ironically enough. It was done under Obama, the countries who were named, not under Bush, but not under Trump. And so you have this false narrative coming up and saying, oh, this is Donald Trump's doing, when it's not Donald Trump's doing. And it's not a large permanent ban. It's for 90 days until a new security system, a new State Department that deals with the immigration and so on and so forth, can be put in place and do a better job than they've been doing before. I mean, this is what the stated purpose of the bill. If you sit down and read the bill, it's a transition bill. It's not it's sort of the executive order. It is not a permanent executive order. It's only for 90 days. And this executive order had been signed before. It's the same type of thing. If you're worried about the constitutionality or the legality of this thing. The same type of ban had been passed prior to Donald Trump by Obama, and it was lasted for 6 months, and on Iraqi citizens. And again, it wasn't specifically Muslim, it's just it's a blanket ban on Iraqis. Again, no one complained, there was no protests or anything like this. Well, why are they all of a sudden carrying out? Simple. Why are they all of a sudden carrying out? It's very simple. They're being paid to by George Soros. This is a phony, fake, leftist crowd out there. Their causes are bullshit. They're not real. They're politically paid for, and they're minions of George Soros and the left and the leftists of the EU and UN. They're pawns. They're part of that sort of rabble-rousing crowd that goes out there and smashes windows and sets fire just to shut down anything they think that is evil or hate speech. Hate speech to them is equivalent to crimes. And so what happens, they're going to go out there and attack anything that they think is hate speech. And it's their ideas against somebody else's. There's a saying that actions speak louder than words. and this is what I was sort of watching on RT. And this is one of the reasons why I like watching RT to a certain degree, is you have enough of a spectrum of progressives who have a variety of thought and patterns. And Terrell Ventura, who is the son of Jesse Ventura, has his show Watching the Hawks. He puts himself up there as an anti-establishment choice. He's an alternative to mainstream media. But he does the exact same thing as mainstream media. He leaves out information. And so he extols the virtue of the protests, even in Berkeley, as people are being beaten up. I mean, and in D.C., where you have that you had the limousine burnt to the ground. How is this? Now, all the violence, and the thing is, this violence isn't new. It was occurring before the election. How is this? How does this level of violence state that you're a peaceful people, or that you respect other people's opinions, or that you support free speech or the freedom of expression? It doesn't. It states the exact opposite: that you're oppressive, that you're brutal, and that you are in many ways dictatorial, that you are like a dictator. Everything you're doing right now on the left can be seen in George Orwell's 1984. The thing is, most people on the left don't care. Why? Because they're robotic. They're minions. They simply follow the mantra they're paid. They simply follow the mantra, the programming that they are paid to do by their superiors like George Soros. This is a dictate coming from on high. And the thing is, this is where I said this in the Tweetlines Plus. The black community is going to pay a heavy price for this, because it's George Soros putting on a black face, paying these thugs to go out and do what they're doing, and stating that this is a black-white issue, when it's not. This is fake. This is a bullshit activism. And it's violent. It is not peaceful. It is not open-minded. It is not, in the definition of the term liberal, it is not liberal. And it's not progressive. But the thing is, again, if you're a minion, if you're robotic, and you accept what your leaders are telling you to do, then there's no thought to this. And the thing is, in many cases, that's what's happening, is you having a lot of these people who are convinced that they are right about their views, and that anyone who has a view that's slightly different from theirs is evil, and is promoting hate speech, and needs to be shut down by any means mattered, by any means. And this is what we see. This is what we're seeing. This is the reality of the left. This is the reality of Hollywood. We're seeing this now. And the thing is, the progressives have no more legitimacy anymore. And this is the crisis. This is the attack on the United States. But this is also the opportunity for those who do think for themselves, to differentiate yourself from the robotic left, from the minions of the left, and start saying, hey, this is wrong. But I doubt that's going to happen in a more significant manner than I'm seeing now. Standing up against the crowd, standing up for your own ideas, your own ideal, being an individual. And that's what I am. I'm an individualist. I'm not a socialist. It's a very difficult thing, because you often have to go against the will of the crowd. You have to stand against the mainstream. You have to stand against the trend and say, hey, no, this is wrong. And this is where I say here, the EU, and most people say, oh, all this violence is restricted to the United States. The American public are idiots. Well, no, this is what you see in the EU here. The EU the leftists in the EU are as robotic, as ignorant as we see on the left in the United States. Same thing here in Canada. The left in Canada, ignorant, robotic, minions. And if you don't like that, change. Anyways, that's it for this edition of INN's Tweet Lines. I'll see you in the next episode sometime over the weekend. Oh no, what is it? Today's Thursday? Yeah, well, probably Saturday or Sunday. Alright.
INN. Provoke, inform and change. We deal with issues that other networks won't.
Academia University. Open, free, that means no tuition, and no entrance restrictions.
Welcome to the library, and I am the librarian. I am the professor. And professor of what? Professor of physics.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?
Free speech rules here at Democratic Earth.